This brings me to a very interesting concept that you have introduced recently. It is called having a mindset which is bulletproof in nature. And this bulletproof mindset somehow makes us much more stronger in order to deal with our challenges, in order to become the kind of person that we want to become, to achieve our goals that we wanted to achieve. So I would love to
True.
know for our listeners that what exactly is this bulletproof mindset, and how can someone like a law student or a law aspirant can achieve the same?
All right. So this being bulletproof was basically one of the themes that I had in one of my webinars. And the idea behind this is really to load yourself with empowering beliefs and flush out the disempowering beliefs, which eventually makes you bulletproof, right? Your belief system becomes so solid. So being bulletproof is basically to solidify your mindset, your belief system and attitude to not just survive in difficult times, but thrive, right? Because when you're under pressure in some sort of a way, in this profession will throw a lot of pressure at you. What will be in your hands is only your belief system and how you act basis that belief system. So essentially, when you're bulletproof, you keep growing despite problems around you. So the question is, how do you become bulletproof? There are basically two steps to this: break your disempowering beliefs and build your empowering beliefs. Okay. Now, for breaking your disempowering beliefs, I kind of suggest 4 steps for this. Okay. The first step is very simple. Everybody can do it. Everybody should do it. Grab a pen and a paper and make 3 columns in it. In the first column, write down your goals. Could be a financial goal, personal goal, professional goal, relationship goal, whatever it is. In the first column, just write down your goals. Second column, against that goal, write down what your inner voice tells you to convince you that you cannot achieve these goals. Basically, in the second column, you need to write down what you tell yourself to convince yourself that I cannot achieve the goal written in the first column. Okay, and for the time being, don't write anything in the third column. We'll get to that later. The second column, once you write it down, you will realize is your disempowering belief. Now, after the podcast is over, I would request you and your listeners to fill up that table with each of your goals and a corresponding disempowering belief that stops you from achieving it. The thing here is also that if you don't tackle your disempowering beliefs now, you will carry these for the rest of your life. So the first step is to identify a disempowering belief, and only then will you be able to eliminate it. Once you identify it, you need to create doubts in the logic of your disempowering belief. Okay, if there is a disempowering belief in you that I am not liked by many people, okay, a lot of people have that doubt, especially in moments when they're feeling low. I need you to attack the disempowering belief. Ask yourself, has everybody who's ever been in touch with me come and told me directly they don't like me? Or maybe there could be a scenario where those people may be having a difficult day themselves, and they did not have the bandwidth to really look at my feelings at that day. Or have I always gone out of the way to make them feel special and appreciated? So when you create these doubts and ask those questions to the disempowering belief, you'll notice that the majority of your beliefs are really made up in your mind. The third step that I suggest is you need to check your state. There are so many states that we undergo during the day, physical and mental. There'll be positive states like hope, excitement, joy, curiosity, fulfillment. And there'll similarly be some negative states: anger, frustration, insecurity, toxicity, unworthiness, shame, jealousy, so many things. Now, this step basically requires to be aware of the state we're in. Okay, just very simply put, a good state of mind, it creates a conducive environment for an empowering belief, and a negative state will often lead us to cultivate a disempowering belief. If you're arguing with someone, or for that matter, it may even happen during your moods. If you're presenting an argument and there is a contrary view that's presented to you, there's often this resistance at that time that you will not be open to something else, because at that time you're consumed with the mindset of being proved right? So you're in a bad state of mind. You're not in a conducive state of mind, conducive for your empowering belief. So what we do, this is something we do even in our relationships. We end up taking bad decisions because of a negative state of mind, and in this combination of bad decisions plus a bad state, it can lead to a disempowering belief about relationships or partners in general. And we end up carrying such disempowering beliefs and emotional baggages to our future relationships as well. So when you start becoming more aware of your state and how you're reacting in that state, you'll notice that you'll have the ability to consciously mold your beliefs as well. The last step is something that something that everybody should be aware of at all times, and that is everything can be solved. This is something which anybody who's even considering stepping into the legal profession must be aware of, that everything has a solution. Okay, the most difficult of situations will also have a solution, and achievers understand that no problem is permanent. But a lot of us end up taking a small problem and making them permanent. See, there will be problems, don't get me wrong. In this profession, there'll be a lot of problems. But don't dwell on them for an unhealthy amount of time, because you'll just end up getting stuck there. So if there is a disempowering belief in you, it's either because you don't know what to do about it, or you feel unprepared to deal with it. So ask yourself, how can I solve this? And you need to throw some problem solving questions like, how can I solve this? How can I grow from this? How can I enjoy the process of growth and learning from this experience? Rather than thinking, why does this always happen to me? Why does the other person always get lucky? So those are just problem creating questions. So use problem solving questions rather than problem creating questions. So once you use the 4 steps of identifying your disempowering belief, creating doubt in them, checking your state and modulating your state, improving your state, and knowing that everything can be solved, you will be able to break every disempowering belief. So the next step is then, how do you build an empowering belief? Quickly, I give you 4 steps for that. First, very important thing, which I think every law student is already on path of, expanding your knowledge. Every time we learn something new, which is positive or helps us get closer to our goals, it's another coin that we add to our belief systems piggy bank. That's a term I love using. The bigger your piggy bank, the more resources you have. So expanding knowledge is critical to help you grow and clean your belief systems. There's an example I often give about a glass of dirty water. All right. Now, if I want to clean the glass of dirty water, the method is to pump in clean water, right? So that the glass of dirty water the dirty water gets flushed out from the glass. So the dirty water is your disempowering belief, and the clean water that you will pump into the glass is your empowering belief. So make sure you have a constant inflow of empowering beliefs that flush out the disempowering beliefs, and expanding knowledge helps pumping in empowering beliefs. The second step to build an empowering belief is to check your environment. You are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. That's something that we've all heard so many times. But we really underestimate this. This goes a long way to decide how your belief system will shape up. So you surround yourself with people who are driven, who are motivated, and you notice how you start thinking like that. The idea is to let your environment be empowering at all times. So if you pick up a job in a chamber or start working under a senior, or apply for a place in a firm, try and pick a team where you see that drive, that motivation to just be something that nobody else has ever become. At a smaller level, if I were to give you an example, if you spend a lot of time with a person who understands the importance of reading, you will also start appreciating and absorbing that belief system as well. So your environment plays a crucial role in cultivating your belief systems. Okay. Another step, the third step, would be to shift perspectives of past experiences. Sometimes we develop negative beliefs because of a painful past experience. If you worked with a boss in your past, you may, and if you worked with a difficult boss, say, in the past, or interned under somebody who may have felt difficult, or say studying under a professor who seems difficult, sometimes you may develop a belief that people in position of power are unpleasant people. Now, we can't really change what's happened in the past, all right? But we can certainly shift our perspectives to look at how we can benefit from them, right? There will be times in your first mood, for example, it's not like that presentation would not be the best presentation of your life. But when you look at it from hindsight, with the fresher perspective, with a more positive perspective, you'll notice that maybe I could have done this better. Maybe I could have said this in this manner, right? So that's the idea here. So your past painful experiences also have to go through that reframing. So give yourself that opportunity to look within, yourself and grow. Instead of thinking, say, all people who are in position of power are unpleasant, think that happened to me once, but that has no connection to my capabilities. And therefore, I will continue to add value wherever I work or wherever I study, because that's my belief system. And the fourth point would be break your own belief barriers. The story of Mr. Roger Bannister that I keep sharing. I love the story. So I'll quickly just take a few more seconds. So until May of 1954, the record of running a mile was over 4 minutes, all right, in the world. Medical professionals, in fact, declared that it was physically impossible for humans to complete 1 mile in less than 4 minutes. Now, this at that time was believed to be a fact. When it's a fact, it becomes a part of people's belief system. Now, this person, Roger Bannister, wanted to break this so-called fact. So he practiced. And during his practices, he simply imagined reaching the finishing line in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. He turned out to be the first human to have run a mile within 4 minutes and completed it at exactly 3 minutes and 59 seconds. So he single-handedly broke an entire disempowering belief system by many. The miraculous thing is that once he broke that barrier, 16 other people ran a mile under 4 minutes that year. Now that happened because Roger Bannister broke a limiting belief barrier. So you too must break limiting belief barriers for yourself. The more barriers you're able to break, the more confidence you'll gain in your ability to come through even in difficult times, such as what we're going through right now. And especially as a law student, when you intern at so many other places, you'll kind of look at people around you. Somewhere you might feel a little intimidated. Somewhere you might feel overwhelmed. But it's at that time that you need to engage this muscle and realize that every belief can be broken, especially a negative one. So when you start breaking that negative limiting belief for yourself, you'll start realizing that everything is solvable. And as you keep progressing in your relationships, in your profession, in your your goals with respect to your body, your finances, everything, you'll realize that every barrier can be overcome. And that will certainly add a lot to your confidence.